our offset's 6 feet, so we're 6 feet off the fence, right?
Yep.
So now we'll set another offset 6 feet off down here. When we do this, always hold it 1 foot by.
Okay.
Instead of trying to figure out where the end of the tape is, just go 1 foot by all the time.
Okay.
So then we always make sure we're not getting confused. So we're 32 long, right? So we'll be 33. So right there is outside the building. And we're 24 across, so we're gonna be 25 on the tape. So we're at 25 and then 40, but we're actually gonna be 41 because you're holding it 1 foot by, right? So we're gonna be 41 and 25, and that's gonna make it perfectly square. So right at that intersection, we're gonna put another nail in there. Yep. Right there. So that makes it perfectly square, and then we'll do the same. We should be able to do the same up this way. Okay, perfect. So let's just double check. Go to that one and hold this foot by and just double check this measurement's right. So we should be 33 feet. So you're 1 foot there.
Yep.
Yeah, we're within a 1/4 inch, so that's great. Keep this one out here, don't worry about that tape. And then someone else go at this end and hold it tight. So our posts are 2x8. We're gonna measure over to get center of post. So we're gonna be
2 1/4.
we're 2x8 post, right? So we're,
But they're running this way.
yep,
So it's 3 ply.
but we're trying to get it over this way.
Okay.
So 2x8, so half of a 2x8
3
plus
5/8.
3 5/8 plus 1.5 inches, right, to get to center of 2x8, because we're at outside of strapping right now, outside of the wall girts. So we're gonna go 3 5/8 plus 1.5 inches, so that's 4 7/8. Is that right?
5 1/8.
5 1/8. Okay. And then you're gonna hold us on 32, so you're gonna let them pull. So you have 32 on that, because we know that's exactly where it's supposed to be. And then let me just show you here. So we're gonna be over here. So you're gonna hold it lined up with 5 1/8 inside of that. And then you're gonna be this way to center post is what?
2 1/4.
2 1/4 plus 1.5 inches. So 3 3/4. So that's gonna be center of post right there, center of your corner post. Okay, and now you're gonna keep it held on 3 3/4 perfectly, center of that nail. And then we're gonna go do the same thing down at this end.
For anything.
So we're gonna come over to 5 1/8 with the tape. So Wyatt, you'll move over to 5 1/8. You put this edge of the tape on 5 1/8, and make sure it's pulled tight and straight.
You still on there, right?
Keep it nice and tight. So you're 5 1/8 there, and then we got to go back. What were we? 3 1/4.
3 3/4.
3 3/4. So 1, 2, 3 3/4. So right there on that side of the tape. Yep. And that's center of this post. So that's perfect. Now we can lay out. So just hold it tight on that, and we'll go down to this end and we'll work our way this way. Come in 1.5 inches. Pull it 1.5 inches your way. So you'll come into what we're at, 3 3/4. So you'll be 2 1/4. Yeah. So now move it to 7 10.5. And then you're just going to be at it. It's 8 foot, right? So then you're going to be at 10.5, short of 8 feet. Like you're going to be at whatever the next one is, 15 foot, 10.5, right?
Yeah, it's got the numbers right on it.
Yeah. And you pull it tight, and it's straight. It's like, is that, and that should be 7 foot, 10.5 back from here.
Should be.
The one thing you got to watch when you're picking up the tape, especially on a long building, is just make sure you don't snag the nails and pull them out of the ground.
Right.
And I would even pound those in further, Casty, because they'll just start their screw pile on that, and just the nail will just chew in with the screw pile.
Right.
So now we'll just go over to the other side, do the exact same thing. Hey, so you should be on 32 on this end, right? Because this is the outside of the strapping, which is or wall girts or whatever, which is outside of building.
Okay.
And then you're setting it to 32, and then his end is right because we already set the length. But you can't really read the tape at that end. So we're 6'9" to edge of post. So you're gonna be back 2 1/4 from that though, right? Because that's the doorway, right? Not from the nail, because the nail's center. So now you're gonna go 10-3 plus 2 1/4. So 10-5 1/4 should be center of post. So this is outside of purlin, right? But we want to set offsets to outside of post. So I'll usually do 3 foot offset. So you bring your short tape over here, and you try and line up with the wall, and you're gonna hold it 1.5 inches past. So if you line up with this wall, you're gonna hold it 1.5 inches past this nail, and you're gonna set an offset 3 feet out here.
1.5 inches this way.
Yep.
Okay.
And that way,
What's this for?
now we know from that, if you set a nail at 3 feet and you're lined up roughly with that wall, now when they put their screw pile in and they go to weld the saddle on top, they can measure 3 feet off of that is where the edge of the post is.
Okay.
So they know where to set, because then they can set their 2 corner saddles and they can run a string line so they can set all the other
Along
saddles.
outside of their
Yep.
saddles. Okay.
And then we'll pull this nail that I'm measuring off of once we set these offsets. So these offsets are super critical that you don't run them over or destroy them, because that's how you're going to set where the building goes. So if you were augering holes, you'd do this exactly the same way, and you come in here and auger the hole, and then when you set your sonotube or whatever, you're going to measure off of those offsets to know exactly where your post's going to go.
Right.
So then we'll set another one this way
So it's going to be 3 feet from here to the outside of the
post.
post
Yeah, because that's why I'm going 1.5 inches past here.
because of the permit.
Yeah, so we're setting to the outside of post.
Yeah.
Okay, this way too then. And then we'll do this on every corner. Here, you want to hold this in. Just make sure you're lined up straight with the wall, because if you're like way off, obviously it's not going to be very accurate.
Right.
So you want to just eyeball that you're pretty straight with the wall. So there's going to be a post here, and then the wall girt or strapping is going to get nailed to that, and it's 1.5 inches thick. So this is outside a building, which is always outside the strapping or the wall girts. And so you're holding to where edge of post is actually going to be.